You move forward. Obviously, you progressed. You've been interviewed for jobs, and perhaps you've interviewed others for jobs. This is a two-part question. You can answer either or. I think this kind of tends to bring out some interesting concepts. Again, the bulk of what I like to do at Voice of the Box is to try to keep it educational for people that are looking to break in or perhaps transition within the sports industry. So you can answer either one of these. Either you've interviewed someone that really, wowed you with maybe some just creativity, or how, maybe they separated themselves from the competition in a unique way that you can share a story, or perhaps there was something that you did while you were interviewing that you think and worked to your advantage. You separated yourself from competition in the marketplace. Was there anything creative on either of those two stories that you'd be willing to share with me?
I had a young lady who sent me a resume tape back in 2001. And I'll share her name. Her name's Tiffany Verzel. She came out of the University of Nebraska HuskyVision program. She was working as a freelance editor at Fox Sports Net, and I was doing a show called The Washington Football Experience and also doing High School Sports Blitz. And I was looking for somebody who wanted to be able to do some visual storytelling, be able to take video and create stories from them and create good features and packages. And I wanted to be able to kind of set somebody on their way to do it. But I was looking for somebody young and hungry. I didn't want some jaded producer from Fox, and pardon me for sounding like that, but I didn't want somebody who thought they knew the business. I wanted somebody who could bring a youthful energy. So she sent me a resume tape, and it had all these incredible stories on it about Husker volleyball, women's basketball, football, and I was just blown away by it. But I also know that on resume tapes that people send out, sometimes they'll send out something that they were the photographer on, or they were the producer on, or they were the writer on. So I asked her bluntly, I said, "What did you do on each of these pieces?" And she said, "Everything." I said, "Oh, come on. There's no." She said, "I wrote them, I shot them, I produced them. I didn't do the voiceover because obviously that was our host." And I said, "You're exactly the kind of person I want to work with." Because she absolutely struck a chord, because that's how I produce things, with the exception of shooting things. I can't shoot a camera to save my life.
Right.
But to be able to have the big picture and to be able to understand from concept through production what you want to do is a valuable thing. There are so many people these days that think that since they can get Final Cut and get a laptop, that they have everything they can have to be a television producer. Yes, you have the keys. Yes, you have the tools. But knowing which buttons to push, right, and in which order, that's only half the story. Knowing how the pictures come together and how to tell the story, that's the right side of the brain that has to tell you how to do that, and not everybody has that. And that's what impresses me, is the people who can take that creativity and just bowl you over with it. And that was the case of one person that absolutely did. And she went on to help run the department at Texas A&M University, and is now back in Nebraska with her husband running a company that does exactly what I do, except she does it in a higher level because
I'm sure she has you to thank.
Yeah, no, she has her husband to thank. Her husband used to run the operation at the Mariners, and she and her husband Brandon do an amazing job.
Anything that you care to share on the other piece of that question? Maybe there's maybe again you could kind of summarize for me. Maybe there was something that you did perhaps during some of your interviews anywhere along the line. Anything that you want to share? You don't have to, but I'd like to ask if there's anything that maybe you did that separated yourself during the interview process.
I think showing my passion for this business, just being as honest as I possibly can about my feelings for the business, what I intend to do and what I would want to do. And once I get into any opportunity, I consistently over-deliver. And a lot of places, they find that a little scary. They like, well, what do you want us to do in exchange for you over-delivering? You want us to pay you more or whatever? I said, no, I want you to keep on hiring me. I want you
good philosophy.
I want you to keep knowing that I'm going to work well with you. And if you have additional projects like commercials or some bigger project, that you will consider me in a bigger scope. That's what I want. And it's worked on many, many occasions.
John, as we kind of wrap up today, I want to ask the last question. I end almost every single interview with this question because I think it brings out some good information, not to tee it up for you, no pressure.
It's not the James Lipton, what's my favorite cuss word.
It is not the James Lipton, although that is a good one. But I think this is PG, so we're not going to do that. What I would like to ask you, though, as we kind of wrap up today, is perhaps there was some guidance or some advice that's been dropped on you even early back as 9 years old, or perhaps older in your career that has just stuck with you. It's resonated. You've always kind of held on to it. That maybe in turn you would impart to someone else that's looking to, make their break. Is there anything that comes to mind?
A couple things. Do what you have to do in order to do what you want to do.
Okay.
Sometimes the grunt work is going to feel like it's the worst stuff in the world. But if it's what you have to do to get an opportunity, do it with a smile on your face, and you'll get those opportunities. The other thing is, when you go to school, if you get the opportunity to go to college, yes, I got a BFA in Communication Arts from SMU. Yeah, I love the fact I went to SMU. Great school, great opportunity. But I think if I had it to do all over again, I probably would have gotten a business degree. I probably would have gotten more of an understanding of economics and marketing and some of the other things, because I was so addicted to television and so addicted to what this medium can do that I didn't get any knowledge on some of the other things that would have helped me so much more. And if I had a regret in my education, that might have been it. And if I had some advice to give to younger people, that would be it. Make sure your education is well-rounded, because with the way that this business is changing so much, you're going to need something to fall back on someday. Make sure you get it.
I lied. I have one more question.
Of course.
It's really not a question. I'd like to give you the chance to promote. We can look right there and say, where can people find you? Perhaps they want to retain you as your services. Let's do a little promotion. You're here. I'd love the chance to do that. Where can people find you, either online, whatever else information you want to give to promote your business?
You could find me on Facebook constantly. Literally. No, actually, the website is flyingcolorstv.com, but it's spelled like the Canadians and British spell it, COLOURS. I will warn you, the website hasn't been updated in quite a while because, quite frankly, I've been so busy with my current clients that I haven't had to. I've been blessed to not have to look for new clients. They've been coming to me. But however, if there are people that are looking for big screen productions or looking to have their message communicated, I'm more than happy to talk to people, and I'm also willing to answer questions if people are looking to get into the business. My phone number is on the website, and they can also search me on Facebook and in Everett. I guess I'm in Everett, Washington now. I'm always willing to answer questions.
And again, let's just to recap. It's
flyingcolorstv.com, but please spell it in the erudite British COLOURS.
Jon Horton, I appreciate you taking the time on Voice of the Box.
Thank you very much.